Eclipses have a way of bringing about transformations that our soul has been calling us to, even if our human self is resisting. So we enter into this powerful vortex where we see the people, the projects, the ideas that aren't aligned tend to fade away or leave our experiences. And we can also see a rapid acceleration of the things we have been working toward, seeing our desires manifesting at a quicker rate. The other way we tend to experience this eclipse portal is healing. We are releasing and healing. And this specific eclipse with a Venus and Mercury retrograde, we are also very aware of our subconscious patterns and programs, and we have an opportunity to choose something new, right? Once we become aware of what's running the show, the patterns, the thoughts, the beliefs that are held in our subconscious, we become aware of what they are. That is a choice point. We can then choose a new experience. And this solar eclipse in the sign of Aries is activating a new timeline. I can't wait to explore this further with you. So I want to take a moment to welcome you in. If you are new here, my name is Kara. I work with astrology. I also read the Akashic records, and I always tune into the records while I study the astrology charts, really asking for guidance on working with this energy in the highest octave, the highest timeline possible, because there's always the lower octave shadow expression that we want to be aware of. But ultimately, we want to move to the highest timeline. And the records give a lot of insight and downloads on how we can really co create with this energy and the themes that may be emerging in our life. And again, moving toward the highest expression of the energy. So if you're new here, say hi so I can get to know you a little better. If you've been with me for a while, say hi below as well, and be sure to like and subscribe. I want to bring even more to this channel, and the more that I see your excitement around these videos, it's just so inspiring for me to like pour more into this space. And many of you have requested learning a little bit more about the Akashic records. So I'm going to feel into more about how I can bring that to this channel as well. So I also want to share, I have a 90-minute call that's happening this Friday where we are going to be tapping into this eclipse energy, doing Akashic journeys, a rebirth ritual I'm going to bring you through in the Akashic records. And the theme is stepping into your unstoppable era. So as you'll see today, as we work with the archetypal energy of Aries, it's very much about leadership, trailblazing, courage, and we can really capture the energy at this time to move into this space where we are making things happen. We are co-creating with cosmic forces. We are magnetic. We're no longer holding back and waiting. So that's the focus of the 90-minute call. Step into your unstoppable era. I'm going to attach all the details for you below. And with that being said, let's pull up the chart and take a closer look at this Aries solar eclipse. So the moon, the sun are at 9 degrees of Aries. Solar eclipses are new moons. So a solar eclipse is this energy of a new timeline, a new beginning. And where it's falling in Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, this new timeline, this new energy, this new frequency we are playing in is really a big theme right now. And new moons always bring that energy of intention setting, that invitation to really get clearer about what you desire to create in your life, in your business. And that clarity piece is so key. It's like the first step of what we are creating in our life is getting clear around what we want, because we focus the energy. So we take it from the space of pure potential and possibility exists. The language of the universe is frequency and energy. All is possible for you if you desire it. It's a possibility for your life. So when we set intentions, when we set goals, when we have desires, we take this energy from the space of pure potential and possibility and we focus it. We really send a clear signal to the universe about what it is we desire. So this energy is so potent for getting crystal clear around what you desire to create. And we're always manifesting, we're always creating in our life. Like, We are just powerful creators as humans. And we come here, one of the purposes we have is to really fine tune that gift of manifestation and creation. So it's about being intentional about what we are creating. And I spoke a little bit about that in the sense of this eclipse portal is making us hyper aware of what those subconscious patterns are so we can more easily have that choice point, because our subconscious is pretty much in so many ways running the show. It's just this storage house of beliefs and experiences, and when we become aware of what those are and we consciously choose something new, that's where we get out of this pattern of just recreating the past and we create a new experience. So the Aries energy. Let's take a look at this Aries archetype. I love working with astrology from this lens of understanding the different archetypes because they're all part of who we are. Each of these 12 archetypes are somewhere in your birth chart. They rule over a certain house, which means they rule over a certain area of your life, and they're expressed within you. Now, if you know your birth chart, there's going to be some of these archetypes that your soul is really learning about this lifetime. They're very much expressed in your personality or the journey of your soul. But understanding each of them is so powerful because it changes the way we relate to ourselves and it changes the way we relate to other people. When we can understand where someone's coming from, that's where we build compassion, that's where we build connection, and where we move away from judgment. So the Aries archetype is the warrioress. I have these little phrases that I associate with each of the zodiac signs. And for Aries, I always think about I am greater than any challenge that comes my way. I will forever and always rise up. There's this warrior spirit of not being afraid of obstacles and challenges because you know your power, you know what you are capable of. And Aries teaches us that courage. And so many of us, well, we don't have to. I shouldn't put that out there, but there's times where we may wait until we feel confident before we take action on something. And Aries is about just do it. Stop thinking about it and just do it. Because the more we stay stuck in our mind, or the more we tend to sit with something and overthink, the default is we will result to an old pattern because it is familiar. And Aries really teaches us the value of just going for it when we feel that call, that excitement, that pull. If we lean in and say yes and we take action, that is also what will speed up our manifestations and really, really break us free of any pattern of stuckness or stagnation. When we allow ourselves to just go for it, lean in, take the action, don't overthink, and we wouldn't need courage if we weren't afraid. So Aries is about that courage and that bravery. And bravery and courage implies that there's an element of uncertainty, there's an element of fear, but that there's so many things that are greater than fear, right? Like our vision. Let your vision be bigger than your fear and watch what happens. Let your curiosity of what is possible be greater than your doubts and watch what happens in your life. I promise you, magic will unfold. So, this is an element, especially where this is an eclipse here, where there is this new energy opening up. But what is so interesting is it's also closing out a cycle. So the last 18 months, we've had eclipses fall on the Aries Libra axes. So Libra and Aries are opposites. We always have the eclipses coming in those opposite signs. And this is really interesting here as I feel into the energy. For some of you, it certainly is a like burn the old, build the new. Aries is a fire sign, burn the old, build the new. For many, it's a refinement. It's a refinement of the things you have been working toward these past 18 months. But now there's a newfound optimism around it. There's a newfound clarity around what it is you truly want and what is actually aligned to your soul path. So I love this energy because it is that like, wow, okay, I'm reflecting on the last 18 months and it helped bring me to where I am today. And yet this is now a new invitation to enter a new timeline, to accelerate the things I want, like no longer waiting, on the sidelines, but rising into your power and really saying, okay, I now have deeper sense of what's required to create what I want, and I'm going for it. I'm not going to second guess it. I'm not going to allow my fear to hold me back. I'm leaning in, I'm moving forward, I'm doing the thing. Now, Aries is ruled by Mars, the warrioress, right? The Mars energy of drive, motivation, action, that life force energy. And Mars has been traveling through Cancer. It's been here for an extended period of time because of its retrograde. It's been direct, though, for a while now. So Mars is in Cancer here at the time of this solar eclipse. It is the ruler of this eclipse. And it is trining Neptune and Venus in the sign of Pisces. So we're also seeing this water energy activated here. And the message I've been receiving around this is about going with the flow. And this may seem at odds with what I described with the Aries energy. And I mean, Cancer, Aries, Pisces, like they're very different energies. Aries is very different than these water signs of Cancer and Pisces, but this statement isn't at odds at all because I actually see going with the flow and this process of surrender as an active thing. It's not like we're just waiting on the side of the river, right? And just watching. We're in the current. We're moving with the flow. We're going with the flow. We're not resisting what we want. We're actively participating in the co-creation of what we desire to bring to life. But there's an invitation here to look at where you're grasping too tightly on the things you want, where you're making it a need. I need this to happen. I need this to change. Think about that energy. Feel that energy. When we say, I need something, feels like panic inducing. It feels like we're strangling what we want, as opposed to I allow. I lean back and I allow. I do my part. I take the inspired action, but I create space to actually receive the things that I want because I'm not smothering them. I'm not overly controlling it with the illusion of feeling safe. I'm not micromanaging. I'm creating space for the things that I want to flow into my experience and feel the difference with that energy. Mars in Cancer is also looking at how you are nurturing yourself, what you need to really feel good, because in order to show up and take action toward the things that you desire, to really step into that unstoppable era, there's a huge piece of self-care there. What do you need to feel at your best? What does that look like for you? How can you prioritize that in your life and not make excuses that you can't prioritize yourself and what you need, right? Because it's the greatest gift you'll give to the people around you. Like, think about the people you love in your life. What do you want for them? You want them to be happy and thrive. So there's that piece that's coming in very strongly here. Like, how am I caring for myself? Aries is also about the self. And then we see this Mars in Cancer, which can be very much giving of others, which is a beautiful thing when that comes from overflow, when that comes from desire, and when it's accompanied by really good, healthy boundaries. So I also want to take a closer look, like, oh my goodness, look at all this energy here in Pisces. Wow. Venus retrograding through Pisces here. This is a lot of heart healing. You can have past relationship stuff coming up, people from your past coming in if there's still a soul agreement there. Memories from your past where you become more aware of what you're called to heal. I've been talking to clients lately, my private clients, about some of the triggers from the past that are coming up. And I'm like, this is an opportunity for you to heal. It's an opportunity to become aware of that pattern. So that's been a huge theme with my private clients lately, like noticing these things from the past that are surfacing right now. And then, of course, I help them understand through their unique birth chart what's unfolding. And for all of us, so there's certainly an element of forgiveness work, releasing, letting go, letting our heart chakra open up. Our heart space is so connected to creation and being a masterful creator. That energy of love. But when we're holding fear in our heart, we're holding pain or trauma or resentment, or we have walls built up out of protection, we're not in our full creative power, right? So this is an opportunity to really be able to heal that, to be very compassionate and loving with ourselves. We also have the North Node moving through Pisces. So this eclipse is actually an out of sign eclipse because we have the sun and moon in Aries, but the North Node is in Pisces, but they're close enough together where it's still this eclipse energy. Hence this interesting element of we're closing out a cycle where the eclipses have been in Aries and Libra, but they're now moving into Pisces and Virgo for the next couple of years. We're going to see them activating this new axes of the chart. So there is this really interesting theme that even extends beyond the eclipses this year, where we're closing out the old and we're stepping into the new. And that really is a flow of energy. It doesn't need to be an abrupt thing. It's like every new beginning is coming from another beginning's end, right? That song, that famous quote, every new beginning is, a beginning's end. It's like that cycle, that flow of life. But I like to see it as we're spiraling upwards, right? We're always spiraling upwards. We're ascending. And we are experiencing that ascension right now. As a planet, we know the vibration of the planet is shifting, our consciousness is elevating. We see that reflected collectively, as well as in our own life and our own personal journeys. Saturn here is at the very end degree of Pisces, 29 degrees. And it's hard to see, like a lot of these planets are really at the very end of Pisces, but there's so many of them, it looks like they're spread out. But if we look at the degrees here, I mean, they're at the end of Pisces. And Neptune is getting ready to move into Aries, which is a huge shift. But right now, at the time of the eclipse, at the final degrees of Pisces, this is a huge releasing, healing, letting go of the things that weigh you down, the baggage you're carrying, the resentment you're holding on to. What if you just let it go? What if you let yourself be free? What if you allowed yourself to just release it? There's an element of freedom that Pisces, all this energy in Pisces really invites us into. And also that bird's eye view. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac. It's all about interconnectedness, our connection to one another. We are all interconnected, our connection to the cosmos, our connection to our higher self and our spirit team. It's very ethereal, it's very spiritual, it's very energy based. It's very different than the shift we're experiencing as, Neptune's going to move into Aries, as Saturn's going to move into Aries later this year as well, where it's that new timeline. But in order to really step into the new timeline, we need to look at what we have to release. Where are we attached to old patterns, old results, even old versions of ourselves, old identities, old ways of showing up? What needs to be released? So we're not just saying a new timeline and a new beginning, but we feel it with every cell in our body. We know we've entered a new phase of our journey. We know this portal, we've walked through a portal and we are forever changed and transformed on the other side. That's what's possible right now. That's what so many are experiencing. It's possible for you. You would not be listening or hearing these words right now if you were not being invited into that transformation as well. You wouldn't be a match to this video. So if you're here, you're called to go through that beautiful transformation as well, that releasing, that healing, that letting go, and that new beginning that you're claiming. You may also be receiving a lot of messages through your dreams right now with Neptune at the final degrees of Pisces. I know my dreams have just been wild, like these crazy dreams. And it feels like a lot that's been stored in my subconscious mind is being processed through my dreams right now. And how it creates this really interesting effect where everything kind of blends together. Like, very odd. So if you're noticing that happening in dreams right now, I mean, that can be Neptune at the final degrees of Pisces, and we can process a lot that's happening in our subconscious in our dream state. Other people, like you could be experiencing messages in your dreams. It's also where loved ones that have transitioned can visit us and send us messages because we're in a more relaxed, receptive state. So that can be happening right now, or visitations from your spirit team. And if that's something you desire, you can set that intention before you go to sleep at night to get clarity on a certain area of your life. Ask a question that you would like guidance on. Ask for healing, ask for what you need, because then we go into the sleep state and we're in this very surrendered state of allowing. We can't resist what we've asked for. We're in this state of just like allowing it to come through. So that could be a really powerful practice right now. So those are the main energies we are playing with here. We do still have Mercury retrograde, 0 degrees of Aries. So it's also getting ready to move into Pisces right now. So this also feeds into this theme of revisiting patterns from the past, being aware of it so you can enter into the new timeline. I know I've really pushed that point, but it's this understanding of this dance between the Pisces and Aries energy of releasing, letting go, and surrendering, and then stepping into a new cycle. And this theme extends well beyond this time. We're really seeing it play out now, but this is a theme of the year. Neptune and Neptune and Saturn are going to enter Aries. Like we're seeing a lot of planets kind of bounce back and forth between these signs due to retrogrades, and they're very different energies. Very different energies. One is about that ethereal connection to spirit, to energy, and the other is very fiery and like that new start and that new beginning. So this year, it's just like, what a year. A groundbreaking year of change and transformation for all of us. So once again, I invite you to join me for the call on Friday, where I can bring you into your records and support you during this process of healing and letting go, but also really stepping into that courage, that magnetism, that bravery of the Aries archetype, and really entering into that unstoppable era. So I'll attach the link below for that. I would love to hear from you below. How are you finding these energies right now? What's surfacing for you? And sending you lots of love. Enjoy the peak of the eclipse portal with this new moon in Aries. All right. Bye for now.